Good morning and thank God you're here for Thank Dog We Made It. Today we're going to be going over one of the questions that recently came in about how to manage a situation where the hood on a dog's jacket falls over the eyes. This person was talking particularly about some Cavalier dogs that they have would have really long ears, and they want to try to keep the ears out of the mud. And also, they want to just be able to have the hood so that it doesn't fall down over the eyes. So I'm going to go to the overhead camera in a second to show you a couple of different examples of coats, just to show you some examples of how you might address this. So let's do that. Let's go to the overhead camera. Let's get started right away. And what I want to show you here are a couple of different jackets. Now, this is my Rebel Hound hoodie, and this is kind of what I've been talking about recently in terms of a hood. It attaches around the collar or around the neckline of the coat or the jacket or the sweater or whatever it is that you're making. And it cinches around the neck. It cinches around the face of the dog. So this is your only real control point on how it goes onto the dog. And what happens when you cinch this up, all it's going to do is pull that jacket forward on the dog's head. So it doesn't really address the situation that you're trying to fix. So I'm going to put this on my little stuffed dog and just show you what it is that I'm referring to here. So let's just pull this cute little guy through. Of course, this jacket's too big for him, but it'll give you the idea. So when it's open, and I haven't cinched it up at all, again, this is too big for this dog, so it's not a great example, but it'll still give you the idea. What happens is that the hood just tends to go forward. As the dog's walking along, this hood is going further and further over the eyes of the dog and driving them crazy. So what you have, the option you have with this particular jacket is to cinch this up, which could work if you got it in behind the ears. But if you put it in front of the ears and you start cinching that up, what happens is it starts to just pull forward. Sooner or later, with all of their movement, they're sniffing, they're doing whatever they're doing, that's just going to fall forward. And all you've done is just created a smaller hole for their face to poke out. I'm going to show you, this is not a jacket that I have sewn. This is actually a raincoat that I own. So this is my own coat, but it's got a really interesting system that I thought might help this person that asked the question about how to add a snood, is what they were looking to do, to their coat. So this has this really cool little channel for some drawstrings. So this is the front of the hood area. If we were to put this on our cute little stuffed dog, like as if it would ever fit, this is where, of course it's enormous, but that is how it would fit around the dog's head. So when I cinch this cool little toggle up, what happens is this drawstring, don't know if you can see from the wrinkles kind of that's created here, but it's going along here, and it's actually going along the tip of the visor part on this hat. So it's going along this, and then it comes back down, and it comes along the other side of the hood, along the back to the toggle. So this doesn't have Velcro. I was thinking it might have Velcro, but by cinching this up, watch what happens. What I'm doing is I'm pulling this hat back. So watch that again. It's really cool. It's just, I love this feature, and I'm definitely going to add this to a coat. So I thank this person for asking the question, because I hadn't really thought about this too much. But as this hood sits here and I cinch this back, you can see what it's doing is it's pulling the hat back. So it's not going to fall over the eyes of the dog. The other really interesting thing that this also has is this, I'm going to loosen this off just a bit so we're not quite so wrinkled. The other thing this has is this other little secondary toggle here. So this is at the base of the hat, and it's right where the hat attaches to the coat itself. And this toggle allows you to pull and change the neckline on this. So again, if we watch how it works on the dog, if I pull this neckline toggle, you can't really see me do it at the same time, maybe, I don't know. If I pull this, it's also pulling the whole jacket back this way as well. It's a bit more subtle than this. This toggle here really does do the work. This does the bulk of the work for you. But this little toggle on the back does actually pull things back. So it's a very interesting system, and I really think this would be a very good way of managing the hood or a snood, depending on how you want to look at this. This is a great way of managing the way that the hat portion sits and works with the dog's face. So just to reiterate, with the hood, the regular hood that I have on my hoodie, this really is, I've always said this is decorative, that it really doesn't have a function so much. And that's a lot to do with the fact that it does fall forward on the dog's face, and a lot of dogs just don't like things over their ears, and that's for good reason too, because they use their ears to hear and to listen and to protect themselves. But as this person, this viewer of my videos had commented, they really want to try to keep their ears, the Cavalier's ears, clean and help from them dragging in the ground when they're sniffing and things like that. So, you know, a hood can really come in handy. And this is a really interesting approach. What often people will do with a hood or a snood is they'll put some elastic or a drawstring or something that goes around the face portion, the place where it sits around the face of the dog. And then sometimes they'll put in another level here, maybe halfway through, to kind of cinch it up around maybe the ears. And then they'll often have something that runs around the collar area or around the neckline to cinch it up around here. So all three of those things can work, but as I demonstrated before, if you are, let's just put my little guy back in here. If you are, in you go, little guy. If you're cinching it here, ultimately that's going to cover the dog's eyes. If you're cinching it here, you might get some more control to pull it back, but then it could actually just pull the hat back on the dog. And if you're cinching it, let's just pull this guy up a little bit. If you're trying to cinch it around the collar line, around where it attaches here, that could also have the opposite effect of pulling it back. As you can see, by my doing that, what I'm doing by cinching it along here is I'm pulling it back on the neckline. And so it will kind of naturally pull it back into falling back often. So this approach, which I would have traditionally done before I started looking at the raincoat that I own, I think this approach can be complicated or can be complicating. And you're also adding in extra elastic along the way, which could be uncomfortable for the dog. I don't know. Really depends on how it fits the dog. But I really do love this toggle idea. I think it's just so innovative. I think it's a great idea to add to a coat. And I would highly suggest this as an option for you to consider when you are making a coat. So I'm going to play around with that a little bit myself, and I will certainly let you guys know about my results and how I work through this, what kind of problems I ran into, what I would do differently, those kind of things. I'll let you know about that when I work through it. But if you guys have any questions about this, if you're wondering about other techniques or why one of the things that I said I thought might be problematic, why that might be, by all means, do let me know. I'm always happy to answer questions, and I love the feedback from people. I love getting comments from you guys. I love to interact with you and just find out what it is that you're struggling with, because that's why I'm here. I like to think of myself as like a dog fit expert. And in fact, I just come up with a new name today. You may have noticed it in the description of this video. I'm going to start calling these the Fit Clinics. And it really is, it's just, this is here for you guys to come and ask questions and get responses and figure out what it is that's working and why things aren't working and how you might adjust something. How do you fit a particular type of dog? Any kind of questions like that. That's what I'm here for. So I'm really hopeful that we might get some kind of forward motion on this idea of me putting this hood together so I can show you. I shouldn't say I'm really hopeful. I will do this, but I'm really hopeful that that will help to answer some of your questions, and particularly the person that had the Cavalier dogs that were wondering how they might address this particular situation. Just going to head over to the chats here and just see if anybody's got a question here or anything. I can see that we've got one question: that human hat looks pretty good on your stuffed dog. Well, thank you. And love how you adapt real life clothing for dog applications. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I'm hopeful. I mean, I'm really happy that that kind of comes across and that you can think of these things for yourselves. This, I think, is one of the things that I love doing, is looking at human clothing and just seeing how I can adapt that for dogs. There is a lot more stuff that's done for humans than there ever is for dogs. So it's a great place to start. It's a great place to look at how things are done and then look at how you might adapt that for dogs. Dogs' anatomy, of course, is very different than humans. So you're not going to find a lot of information out there about how you would adapt a dog wear because it just doesn't exist as much. Human wear, you'll find tons and tons of ideas about how to adjust human clothing. So that's a great place to start. And also, I've always felt that looking at human clothing for design, from a standpoint of what looks good, but also from how they do things. How have they adapted things to fit and to work? Because there has been years and years and years of making human clothes, but not a long time for making dog clothes. So this is a really great place to look. And a great place for you guys to ask questions too. If there are particular things that you've seen in human clothing and you're just wondering, how can I do that for a dog? This is a great idea. So please do feel free to send me your comments, send me questions. I always put my email down in the description. It's down below. If you have any questions and you want to send me photographs, that really helps me, particularly if you're struggling with a fit issue, because I can see it then. I can see where you're struggling and I can see where the issues are on the dog. So by all means, hit that email link down below and send me photographs of what it is that you're dealing with on your dog. Someone just asked, what kind of classes or courses do I offer? Yes, great question. So one of the things that I have, there's down below, there is a link to how to measure your dog. I always suggest that's where you start. If you haven't measured your dog, this is a video, but also has a workbook. So this will help you work through how to measure your dog, record all those measurements, some tips and tricks and things. So that is number one place to start. But I also have a great course. It's a kit, the Custom Fit Toolkit. And this is a great place for you to figure out troubleshooting how a dog coat is fitting and why it doesn't fit properly. And this is a great tool. It allows you to, I've got a chart in there, so you come up with, it looks at different problems. What's the problem here? and then it's like a tree structure. Okay, if that's the problem, do I have that problem? Yes, I do have that problem. Then look at this particular page in the workbook and measure this particular spot on your dog. So that is a great troubleshooting tree kind of thing to work through. It also comes with 3 different patterns for free that you can actually make. So it comes with the custom coat, the cozy coat. It comes with the Rebel Hound hoodie that I just showed you in the overhead camera. And it also comes with a slicker pattern. So those are free. And then I tell you exactly step by step in this Custom Fit Toolkit how to adjust those patterns right at the paper level before you start sewing, how you adjust those patterns to fit your dog once you've taken those measurements. So that is a great little toolkit, and you can find that on my website, and I'll put that description down below. And then of course I do have a lot more other courses that you can take that dive deeper and deeper into how to create dog wear for your dog. I have ones that show you how to customize patterns, to make them, to change the design and the look and the feel of them with a really simple pattern. You just start with that simple base, but there's so many things you can do to play with it. So take a look at my website, check out those courses, check out the Custom Fit Toolkit, and thank you for coming along with me on this journey. I really appreciate it. So I'm going to wrap up for today. Come back and find me again here next week at 11 a.m. Pacific, and we will have a fantastic week sewing. I hope you enjoy your week. Feel free to ask me any questions. You know what to do. Link to the email down below, or hit the comments down below on this video and let me know. All right, have a great week. Feel free to like this video if you like it. Follow me if you're not already following me. And we will see you next week. All right. Bye-bye.